Hello, my name is Eric Deloach. I'm a book author and also I'm the host of my new show, Black Authors and Others. On this new show, Black Authors and Others, I interview Black authors and other authors and also other individuals of the arts. Today, we have a fantastic, electrifying, and amazing guest who is an icon in the making. Okay. And that's not enough to describe her, but you get a little taste, right? You get a little taste. At any rate, she is in the media world. She's also social media personality, internet personality, TV personality, radio personality. I'm probably missing something. But at any rate, with no further ado, I think I'm good at spotting talents, and we have a talent here. So with no further ado, I'm going to introduce you. If you hadn't experienced the experience, maybe you're gonna get a little taste today. And so here we have the only one, the one and only Lady Myya. Thank you for being here today.
You so much, Rick. You are awesome, dude. You pump my head up big. I don't deserve this. I don't
No, I
deserve
see
this.
I see the talent, I see the greatness, and I'm sure that they're going to see it today as well. So let's just start here. Tell us a little bit about yourself as a media personality, and tell us a little bit about your various platforms, because I'm sure there's people watching that would basically die to get on your show. So they have a opportunity to hear from you in this venue.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, just a little bit about me. Again, I'm Lady Myya. I do have several platforms. Yes, I do have a podcast that's called Living Your Best Life with Lady Myya. So I go into depth as to what the person or the entrepreneur, what they do, why they do it, and how. So, and how they could actually help, others and their newest consumers. Hopefully they're watching. So then too, I have a radio show, which is on at every Sunday at 3 Central PM, 4 Eastern. That's every Sunday. That's on my genre radio. And then too, I have a TV show. TV show is called Lady Myya. Think, plan, and do. Okay, we're having fun. We're talking about all types of things and why they got into what they got into, the story behind the story. Like I like to get in deep with conversations, as to, who's the person and why they decided to do that. And some people have some really interesting stories, y'all. I'm telling you. And then we have conversations. I have conversations with other entrepreneurs about that specific person and their journey, going forth. So it's definitely awesome. And I do my lives on Friday when, when a sister ain't too not too front and forward or having the energy, because I give a lot of energy in everything that I do. So yes, I'm sorry, that was a mouthful.
No. The public needs to know you're definitely going to be everywhere. There's no question about that. Normally on this show and my other show, but let's talk about this show and you as a guest. Tell us, I'd like to start with, tell us where you were born and where did you grow up?
Oh, wow. I was born in Philly. So I'm originally from Philly, Philly girl. We moved around a good bit in Philly. However, I've lived in several different states, you guys. Okay, you would have thought I was an army brat, but I'm not. I'm sorry. The wind blew, I went. And so basically, it started in Philly. I went from Philly to West Virginia, Charleston, West Virginia. From there back to Philly. Then I went from Philly to Texas, Indiana, then Illinois, and then back to Philly once again, reset. Okay, y'all, reset. And then I moved to Florida, and now I'm here in South Carolina. So yeah, this has been a road.
What part of South Carolina? My dad is from Allendale, South Carolina. He's passed away, but he's from Allendale, South Carolina.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, yeah. Which part of South Carolina are you're in?
I'm in Charleston. Yeah.
Okay, great place. And let me ask you, with that, which is great because I'm in Athens, Georgia now. I lived in New York for 16 years. I lived in San Francisco for a little while, and I also lived in Houston, Texas. So, but let me just see with you, what through those various exchanges, different locations, how did that shape you as a person, and how did that shape you as a creative person?
Oh, wow. Oh, that is definitely a long story. Let me see if I can shorten it for you.
Take your time, we're here.
Well, what happened was, being in Philly, my mom was one of those type people, like family is everything. I grew up, in the church, of course, both sides of mother and father. Dad, Papa was doing whatever he was doing, but mom was trying to hold it down. You had little G-Ma. And
Okay.
so, she was the one that pretty much gave everybody orders, like, hey,
Right.
do this. And this is how you need to be. And so, you had to wear that facade for so long because you were the family of the church.
Right.
So that was one of those things that, you had to do right. You're representing us and different things like that. And, you weren't supposed to bring any like attention to yourself. So we weren't allowed to have our heads held high outside the church. Okay. So that was a difficult thing, being as though, like, if you knew my daddy, you would have understood. Like, he is loud. He's loud. Okay. He's going to make his presence known, and he's short. So it doesn't, okay. It's just like what you thought. And so, that was a struggle, right. Just kind of dealing with that. Cause I'm like, I don't know if this is all I want to do. And my mom told me, when you grow up, all you're supposed to do is finish school, go right. to college, get you a good job, make with the benefits. And, right. And I said, well, do you get a break, vacation or something? And she said, well, yeah, no, you get a vacation maybe once a year, rinse and repeat. And I'm like, I don't want that. So I started traveling, and, right. Be as it may, I did have children, and yes, right. They went with me. Yes. And so we traveled, but my children now are chameleons. Like, okay. They know how to adapt to wherever they are, and they can relate to so many different people and so many different, just social cues and different things like that. They can go from, to yes. And so, them understanding, what it would take and how to represent themselves, I think it builds a lot of character, and people fail to realize that. And a lot of people did not like the fact that I did that with my girls, but, albeit my kids have never been in trouble. My oldest is a chef. My middle one is in college. The baby is top in her school and high school. So I'm like, it can't be all bad.
Success story. Now tell me, because New York, I love New York. I miss it. Tell me about Philly. Was it exciting? Was it a social playground? What was Philly like?
That depends on what group you were associated with. I was homegirl, came from the hood. I was from North Philadelphia. And so it was, you knew you couldn't be in certain areas at certain times. And knowing that, I didn't know Kevin Hart was like 3 blocks away from me.
Right. I knew in New York.
I was like, really? Yeah. You've been on Erie Avenue all the time. No, I'm just like, and then I used to service, or help service, I should say, help service. Will Smith's dad, he used to have a BMW when I worked at BMW. So that was super dope. There was always somebody coming in. I don't know how many times we bumped into Terrence Howard downtown because he was big there. And so, yeah, there was always names there, which was
Right.
cool because it was just like, you see so much bad
Right.
that, you know, to see the good and see, you know, okay, there are options. And that was
Right.
something big for me. And that's what I wanted to do. And that's what I still want to do. I still want to
Right.
give people those options. I don't want anybody to think that that's all there is.
Right. I remember in New York, you know, you go 1 or 2 blocks over, I was 96 in Church Street, Canarsie and Flatbush. And I knew like if I walked on certain streets, that's not the place to be. And then I know if I worked in other places, and then the same thing, going in Manhattan, you would see the lady that was in the Cosby Show, who was a nice person, the guy from the Matrix, different stars and stuff. Regis was kind of interesting because you always saw this guy, you know, had a certain type of over alpha male personality on this show, but he was like, "Hey, young fellow, how you doing?" A totally different dynamic, you know. So I mean, yeah, the city experience, I think, is good for creating creative people because you see the possibilities, and hey, you see Will Smith, hey, I could be that. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you saw that. Now tell me now about being in Charleston, South Carolina, a different, you know, because I'm in Athens, Georgia, which is a very laid back, middle-sized town. And so it's not New York. So tell me about Charleston, South Carolina. What is the difference compared to Philly?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
So there's been so many times that because of my personality that I would get thrown out of Philly because they were like, you don't belong here. Because I didn't have the Philly, you know, language or lingo, and I wasn't that type person that would just run streets and stuff. So it was just like they were like, you don't know, you got an accent. And I'm like, I live right down the street and I've been here for like forever. Like, what accent? And they were like, no, you don't belong here.
Well, you're a creative person. You're a creative person. And let me say something. I'm a creative person. And it's a question I was going to ask you, but I mean, I guess we got to go into it. Yeah, I felt that I had to march to my own drum beat. Did you feel the same thing?
Yes.
And did you ever feel misunderstood by people just because you were creative and, you know, you thought you had your own thoughts?
What happens is this. I'm a talker. I talk to everything moving. Oh, you're gonna get talked to. So with that, it did allow for me to kind of like find my path to the people that had like-minded tendencies. Unfortunately, they're all like way older than me. My best friend, she just turned 61. Like my bestest friend in the whole wide world. She just turned 61 yesterday. Amazing. And so it was just more so like, yeah, that's that. How about my mother's friends are my friends. So it's just so interesting because, you know, my mom used to tell me, you were born in the wrong era. Something's wrong.
But tell me this, because I mean, I'm sure you have a strong connection with both your mother and your father. I just remember my dad passed not too long ago. I don't want to go into that too much, but he would say, you know, don't give anybody an excuse to say anything bad. That was his saying. My grandfather, his saying was, you know, third grade education, in his case, farmer. He would say, you know, if you're going to do something, be great at what you're doing. And these things stuck with me, you know, and I'm still working on them. But I mean, tell me, were there any famous sayings that came from your mother or father that stick with you now and also go on your creative path as well?
Wow, you're asking the question. Okay. My dad was a carpenter. He actually had all types of jobs actually. So like the funny thing he would always teach me was I loved cars. He didn't want me to love cars. He taught my oldest sister cars. He taught me how to grout, sand, and do, you know, like a lot of the construction stuff now. And I know how to do some construction, and I love it. If I can get a wet sand, I'm telling you, I will do some wonders. But, you know, he taught me to be independent. Don't really, you know, depend on anyone. Do your own thing, so that way nobody can take advantage of you. And so I was big on that, and I did that with my kids too. I tried to get them to be more independent. Of course, they had to find their own way of doing that and what that looked like. So I mean, but as long as they're okay, I'm good with it too. So yeah.
And so that stuck with you as a person and as a creative person, I'm sure. Now tell me, was anything that your mother anything that a saying or philosophy or your thought or philosophy that she had that, you know, it sticks with you, good or bad, I guess?
Well, it's interesting. My mother is very timid. She's like the complete opposite of me.
Wow.
So, you know, I try to just kind of maintain her patience. You know, that's the only thing I can do, and just be diligent, you know, when it comes to working. I'm a whole workhorse. Like I don't shy away from working. Hard work ain't never did nothing to me. So I'm you know, that's what I try to do. And I did install that in my kids. Unfortunately, you know, sometimes, you know, things change and you can't do everything you used to do. You know, everybody used to get a job and you held on to that job. Jobs are not so easily obtainable, or even for that matter, wanted, you know, because there's no loyalty in jobs anymore.
That's true.
Yeah.
So you got patience, some patience from her. But I mean, you definitely, I guess you say, would take after, I mean, maybe you would say that you took after your father with that energy, that excitement. He was Mr. Dynamic, Mr. Excitement, I'm sure.
And he wasn't even there. The sad part was my big sister was the one that was, you know, that was brought up by him. And she was the one being my father. So it was just like everything that my dad was, she was definitely. She was, no, you don't do that. No, don't do this. Don't do that. No, you know, go this way, go that way. No, you don't want to talk to that person. It was interesting, but it was so awesome at the same time, because to have that type of support, it was like, yes, and it was an extension of my father, you know, or whatever. So it was cool. It was cool either way, because it fit me better than everybody else, and everybody, you know, that tried to tell me other things. And I was just like, you know.
Independence. He taught you independence. So tell me, what is your, okay, is your I mean, your heritage or your roots, would you, like, I'm African American on both sides. I interview people that are, you know, with this particular show, that are African American, but also Caribbean, African American, and a family, you know, mother or father from Africa. What is your makeup?
I think it would be the same. For the most part, I don't look like many people in my family at all. Like we call her twin. She's my cousin. And we're the only ones in my whole family that look like each other. Like everybody else looks completely different from us. And I used to ask my mom all the time, you sure I'm not adopted? Because all of you guys are so tall, and like they got this beautiful dark skin. And I'm like, hello, I'm the shortest thing on the ground. The kid says 8 is taller than me. Like, what is happening?
Right. So it's both parents African American, or kind of there's a mixture of the different cultures of, you know, people that came from Africa.
I think there might be a little bit of a difference because of the bridges that's on my father's side, because they all have like very different nose structures, and they have like that olive undertone. And you know, they're from Delaware, so I mean, they could be from anywhere, really. And so yeah, like, but my mother, they're all Black.
But the reason I asked that is just that I know that when you come sometimes from different cultures, even in the African American experience, you know, Caribbean or African, that it tends to bring out creativity. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going at the creativity. That's what I'm shooting for. That's the only thing I'm shooting for. How did those experiences and that background influence your creativity? Let me ask you this. Who would be people that influence you that are, famous creative people out there in whatever creative field in terms of entertainment or the arts?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Yeah.
That is so interesting. Only because
Yeah.
it is the person that influences me is so far. Well, okay, I'll tell you this little story and
Yeah.
then you'll understand. Okay,
Okay.
so when I was younger,
Right.
was chronic, I was depressed. Like I just couldn't
Okay.
get it together, so I would write.
Okay.
And so I got to the point where I was in church and everything. And so they were like, well, you make good stories. Why
Okay.
don't you write us a play? So I started writing
Right.
plays at the age of 17. And
Wow.
so I got to write plays until 2014. I did produce two plays,
Okay.
one in Texas and one in Indiana. And
Okay.
so that was super dope. That was my life, my life, my life. And I wanted to be like an art, just one of those people that's just doing, putting people in their places so that they can do what I'm thinking about. So,
Okay.
but so that was weird. A good friend of mine, my forever friend, he is so amazing. He's a producer in Philly. And he goes, well, Myya, since you writing, why don't you write this movie with me? And I was just like, movie? Because
Okay.
he just had got his producer's license and
Nice.
everything. And so he was just like, yeah, write this movie with me. And I was just like, oh, wait, no stage? Wait, I can go outside the stage? You done blew my mind. And when he did that, we wrote a movie.
Great.
In 2014. So I was just like,
Okay.
yes. So
Yes.
I got here to South Carolina. I was just like, yes, I can dust off the movies that I want that had ideas of starting. So I would write the ideas down, but I never got the chance to like really finish and do the dialogue. Well, I got here. I started 5 of them.
Okay.
And couldn't start. I just couldn't do anything else because it was too quiet. I would talk to the walls and they weren't holding the conversation with me. So I thought that was like, no, I got to do something. And this call came in and they were like, we saw that you signed up for Les Brown. And I was just like, okay, that was forever ago. That was in Texas in 2009.
Wow.
And so I'm sitting there, okay, it's 2019. What are you talking about?
Right.
They were like, well, we got the list. And for all the people that wasn't able to afford Les Brown's thing, we're taking over the list and we're giving them the option to do the classes, the public speaking classes. And I was just like, oh, okay, sounds good. Let's do this. And so I did it. And I said, okay, so how am I supposed to make this thing work? And they were like, you're so animated. And I was just like, I said, well, isn't everyone? I guess for everybody else,
that's interesting. Let me say that is interesting. It's interesting that, a person can be who they are, but yet and still everybody else should be like me. It's interesting how we're capped in who we are connected into who we are, and sometimes somebody else has to tell us the differences. That's interesting. But continue the story though about Les Brown. This is very interesting.
Yes, it was interesting though. Like I guess I got on their nerve really because I asked all types of questions, and everybody that's been there so much longer than me. There were people that was in this class for like 2 years, and I was in there for like 2 months, and I was taking over. Yo, what are we doing with this? And I wasn't being rude or being disrespectful. I was like, okay, I've learned because I used to sell cars. I've learned if you don't ask, you won't get it. Right.
Okay.
So you you have a class and you
And
have all these.
can we coin that as your state, as your state, you know, you're saying you don't ask, you don't get it.
You don't. Squeaker
Okay.
will get hurt. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How many plays prior to this? How many plays did you actually get a chance to write prior to that? And then what was the outcome of the Les Brown thing? But how many plays were you able to write prior to
Oh wow.
hooking up, connecting with the producer?
Well, okay, so
Mhm.
I wrote and rewrote like 6 plays.
Great.
I would do skits a
Okay.
lot. That was
Okay.
always easy because you know when you
Right.
go there,
Okay.
when you gotta spend money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that was interesting. Definitely, and like the Les Brown
What
thing
spurred that on? What spurred that on in the when you just woke up? I always tell people they start laughing. Did you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and oh, I'm going to write a play? I mean, how did it all begin? How did that start?
I listen. If you knew me,
Right.
I always got a pen and paper.
Okay.
Always.
Okay.
That's a given because you never know what your idea is going to lead to. Okay. And I never want to miss out on what I'm getting, you know.
And when did this start? I mean, like, were you 12 years old, 14? When did that start?
It started maybe, oh my gosh. Okay, so let me tell you, I've never told anybody this. Okay. The only people that know about this story is the people that
we want in. Go ahead.
It's funny because when I was about, I'll say like 15 years old,
Okay.
Like 15. So I would take this book to church, you know, when the kids are sitting in the back of the church, right? Okay. We wasn't allowed to talk. So I would write. So I would write stories about what would happen to me, who I was meeting, who liked me, and what happened and what transpired. Right. And so every week it was like a soap opera for them in church because we would pass it it around. All the kids would kind of go through it and they would look at me every Sunday and go, hey, where's the book?
So you started realizing that you were able to entertain people in that way because they would ask where the book is.
Exactly.
Okay, continue.
I forgot all about it.
This is very exciting. So did somebody tell you, well, you need to really take that to the next level and write some plays? You really are talented. Or it just came to you, well, let me go to the next level. So how did that happen? Did somebody tell you that, or did you actually came to that conclusion yourself?
Well, what happened was one day, you know, one of the I think it was Easter was coming up, right? And I had wrote something, and one of the ladies of the church saw that I was, you know, that I did this play, right? And so my mom goes, well, she wrote a play if y'all want to hear about it. Oh,
so your mother encouraged it. Okay, good.
Listen, it take a lot for her to say anything. Okay, so
that means you had a lot of talent for her to be open to say that to somebody that's out of the family. She recognized talent.
She did. I think that was only because we needed something to do when they was trying to keep us quiet.
Okay. Well, this was inside you. This was who you are.
Church, yeah. I loved it.
With church, but I'm saying of course church, but I'm saying also this talent to write just was inside you.
Yes.
And how did you feel? Here I go. You got me going. How did you feel once you finished and you got the reaction? How did you feel once you got the reaction from people? And then how did you feel once you completed a project? What were the two feelings there?
Okay. It didn't, like, the feeling didn't really hit me until they started calling me, and this is the weirdest thing, Little Miss Spike Lee.
Oh, okay.
And I was Little Miss Spike Lee.
Right. Okay.
So it was
And
fun.
so,
And
so
then,
did you actually hire I mean, are you actually selected now? You're gonna play this part, you're gonna play this part, you just went around and got your cast?
yep, yep,
Wow.
yep. And I let a lot of ad libs go. You know, I was just
Right,
like, look, just don't mess this up. Because
right,
you don't want this to go somewhere else that you
right,
can't come back from, you know, and
right,
everybody
right.
else can't like get their line. And so
Okay.
they're like, all right, all right, all right, I got you.
So that, okay, so now let's go to let's fast forward. The producer knew that he saw talent, and I guess he needed help, of course, and he wanted to collaborate with you. Then you went on to this Les program, and what what was the outcome of the Les Brown project? Everybody, if I hope they know Les Brown, definitely, you know, a world-renowned personality. I mean, come on. But tell me what transpired out of that situation.
Well, that's how everything started, Rick. Okay,
Okay,
so
right.
what happened was the gentleman that was teaching the course, his
Okay.
name is Antonio T. Smith.
Okay.
He has a course. And so
Mhm,
he was the one, he would give
mhm.
us all this information, all this information, all this information. And I was just like, okay, I don't want that.
Right.
Let's see what is he doing? Because
Okay.
everything else was, you know, about real estate, or it was
Okay.
about, you know, how to make your business this or make your business that. And I'm like, I'm creative. I
Right.
like, I'm good with that, but I'm at the same time, I'm not there. So
Okay.
he has like maybe 3 different podcasts.
Okay.
And so I was the only one that was like, so when I'm gonna be on your podcast?
Wow. You told Les Brown this.
No, I told Antonio T. Smith this.
And
And
what
I
did he
said,
say? And
so
what
when
did he
I'm gonna be
say?
on your podcast?
And what
Because
did
he
he
was the
say?
guy that was over us,
Yeah.
giving us
And,
the information.
and what did he say?
He said, okay, make her an appointment. You ask and you shall receive. And I
Oh my
said,
goodness.
God dang it, it better happen.
And guess what? Your saying came to fruition, whatever. You said if you don't ask, you don't receive, and you received.
It's
And
true.
tell me about that experience you got in, and what was that experience like at that? Because I mean, now we're talking about semi, if not professional level work then, as just somebody who's learning in the class that just, let's go. You're ready to go. Tell me about that experience.
It was interesting because
Mhm.
actually I didn't get a chance to do a one-on-one with him. I did
Okay.
one with his assistant,
Okay.
which Deanna is amazing. She's amazing.
Okay.
He knew what he was doing because she
Right.
has a lot of my creativity
Okay.
and exuberance. So
Okay.
we can't do nothing together, right? Because
Right.
we just too excited and we're bouncing all up.
Bouncing off the wall all over the place.
But it was so much fun. And so
Right.
she was just like, okay. And it was fun and
Right.
everything. And so after that, I was just like, so what am I supposed to do now? And they
Right.
were like, well, why don't you just get your own podcast? And I was just like,
Okay.
because nobody don't want to hear me.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And so I started one. I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay, that's interesting. So what did you start with first? You got a podcast. Give us a list again of the different medias that you're on now. You said that podcast. Just tell us, TV. Tell us because that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, that this has been an
Mhm.
interesting thing
Yeah.
altogether.
Right.
I started doing the podcast. I started asking people, hey, help me out. I'm trying to do this podcast. At first I was
Right.
just talking and
Right.
different things like that. And I was just like, okay, I'm bored with myself right now. Okay, this
Mhm.
is what I'm going to do. I'm going to find somebody. I'm going to talk to them and we're going to have a conversation. Now, my friend that I did the movie with, I had him on there. I think he was like
Right.
the first person. And I was
Right.
just like, no, you need to be on here like today. I don't care what you're doing. Drop it. Let's do this. And he
Yeah.
was just like, you're so bossy. And I was just like, well, you're going to be on here. So click on here, We're going to get on here. It was like,
Yeah.
okay.
And how did it go, that interview?
The first one was, I was petrified. I was
What?
petrified.
You were so demanding to have it happen, and
I
then
was,
what
because I didn't know what he was going to say, because he rude.
Okay.
Because when we talk,
right?
it's no filter.
Okay.
So I was like, I don't know how this is going to go.
Well,
So
how did it turn out?
it was okay, because somebody told me to try with the topic.
Okay.
And so I tried it with the topic, but I didn't like it. I was just like,
Okay.
I don't like it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the second person I did was one of the guys that was in the class with me,
Right.
Maurice Mohammed, and he
Okay.
is a real estate agent in New Jersey.
Okay.
And he wrote a book called The Bible of Real Estate, or The Bible of Land Ownership, something like that. Something. I'm sorry.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
But yeah, like afterwards, this is the blessing. Let me tell you what happened.
Uh-huh.
I stepped out on faith and I said, I got to get God to be in the midst of this, because I
Absolutely
have no idea what I'm doing. Right.
Okay.
And so maybe after about 6 or 7 podcasts that I did with the interviews,
Right.
I met a gentleman.
Okay.
And so this gentleman was like, I like what you're doing. And
Right.
I have a radio show. And I was just like, oh, well, that's nice. He said, well, if everything goes properly, I'll take care of you. And I was just like, okay, first off, I know when people kicking tires, and I don't trust nobody. So I'm like,
I like that saying. I know when people kicking tires. I'm gonna have to use that when I
everybody kicks tires.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, because I think that's just being in a retail field,
Right.
Being in retail, they want it, but they may not be able to, get it to you.
Right.
So I get it. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. And so I told my husband, and my husband was excited. He was just like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then walked away, of course, but it was. And so maybe, it took about 4 or 5 months. And he calls me, he goes, oh yeah, I got your radio show. Now, mind you, at that time I had a radio show. I had
one. Okay.
I had a radio show. So I had 2 radio shows, because I took his.
Right.
And I had another one.
Okay.
And so I was just like, oh, this is bomb. I'm happy.
I'm everywhere. Yeah.
I know, right? I thought I was doing something.
Yeah.
And yes, it was exciting. And so, but he actually not only had the radio show, he ended up getting the Roku channel, and was like, I need your help. And I was just like, what you need me to do? He was just like, I need you to help me manage some of the shows on my network. Can you be on the board? And I was just like, say what?
I'm here.
Sure, I can.
Yeah.
Not a problem. I'm on it.
Yeah. And what was he, a TV show or radio network? I mean, establishment. What was his type of media?
What was his type of?
The type of media, was he dealing with radio shows or TV shows? Both. Okay.
He has both.
Okay.
So that's been interesting, because he's a tech geek, he loves it. He's just like, I'm IT. That's all I'm doing. I'm doing IT. I'm building everything from the background. So he doesn't really want to do too much of the scheduling or the front end of stuff. So I'm like, all you got to do is tell me, get him.
Right. Go get him. Now, did you notice when you, prior to him, when you were doing your own podcasts or your shows, did you, because you said the initial one was with the film producer, you were a little nervous, but you got over that and you started, becoming comfortable with the process. Okay. So now, so let's go to, you got your radio show, he gave you a radio show, and so you were going out and I guess finding talent for him to have on the show, and you was helping him in, I guess, that type of fashion.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Okay.
that's what I just produced, co-produced, sorry,
Okay.
co-produced a show called Ghost Sisters. So it's a
Okay.
paranormal show
Okay.
alongside with another one that backs them up, which is
Okay.
called Outlaw Paranormal. So
Okay.
they'll be up there on the network as well. And
Right.
so yeah, that's huh, you talking
Tell.
about my niche right there. Oh, talking and getting it done and just
Right.
let's do it.
Now, so for us lay people, because I'm a book author, a songwriter, and I'm eventually will get into the film industry, maybe this year or something. But what when you say producer show, we may I personally don't know what that completely means, and I'm sure a lot of people in the audience. What does that mean? You produce the show?
Well, so it's
Educate us.
more of an
Educate us. Yeah.
yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
So it's more of an executive.
Okay.
I am the
Okay.
one that's just actually getting everything to coincide, make
Mhm.
sure there's room for the show, make
Okay.
sure, if there's anything that needs to be added on or taken
Okay.
away, or,
Okay.
if the timing's going to be right, just kind
Okay.
of making sure that, all those things are coincide with each other. So it's just like
Okay.
the person that is
Right.
actually doing the show, are
Mhm.
they going to be happy with the timing of the
Okay.
show?
Okay.
And different things like that. So yeah, that's been a whole thing. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, it's been a whole lot of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Okay.
And then I feel so bad because some days I just can't get around to them right
Okay.
away, especially if I
Okay.
don't have a whole lot of information. I'd
Mhm.
much rather have it all so that I can, give it to them. I
Okay.
actually got to make a few calls today.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But
So,
yes, it's super
mhm.
interesting. It's something
Yeah.
that I always wanted to do, but I never thought I was going to be able to do it. So yes,
Wow.
it's like every door has opened,
Yeah.
for me to do what it
Absolutely.
is that I truly want to do.
Now, tell me, did we answer the question? Who were your influence in the arts? Who?
Tyler Perry, and we
Tyler
have
Perry.
the same birthday. So
Wow.
we
It's meant
September
for you to be
13th.
in. It's
Yes,
meant for you to be in the entertainment industry.
definitely.
Are there any female people in the arts that influence you as well? And
Okay, the weirdest thing, and it's so
yeah,
funny because she just started really getting up there.
yeah.
Tiffany Haddish.
Okay.
I love me some Tiffany Haddish.
She's
And
very
and I
talented.
don't know if it's because she's one of those go-getters and she's
Right.
going to do by any means necessary, and I
Right.
saw that in her and I was just like, yes,
What
that's
about
me.
what about Oprah?
I love Oprah. Oh no. See,
Yeah.
she, how you look at the Queen of England and you
Right.
like, I see you, Queen,
Yeah.
but I'm just gonna wave and move on.
Yeah.
You
What
know
about
that
now? What about Maya Angelou? I'm just, I'm sure we have young ladies and different people, and you know that you're destined to be your icon in the making. So I definitely want to, through you, let's inspire. Let me get you.
she's
Let's inspire
inspiring, isn't she?
these young girls to see that they in a male dominated field. If you have the talent,
Always.
no matter what your color may
Yeah.
be, if it's for you, it's for you. Go after it, and you're showing
Exactly.
it. You're definitely a role model. Go ahead.
She was the biggest role model. Okay, so if you look at my name
Right.
on
Right.
Facebook, it's
Mm-hmm.
Myya Angel,
Mm-hmm.
not to be Maya Angelou.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
like my
Right.
homage to
Right.
Maya Angelou. Yes.
Okay. 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 Now tell me. Okay. I didn't know that. That's interesting about the executive producer and producer. Tell us about the TV show. Your TV show.
It was so interesting. I was blessed
Okay.
because my son-in-law, which is my daughter's fiance,
Okay.
he is a movie editor.
Okay.
He was the one
What is God doing? He just setting you up.
he just
Hey.
blessed. It was the overflow.
Oh my God. It just happened to be a movie. Okay, I can use your talents. Let's go. Guess what? I like to control things, so come on, let's go.
No, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that
Right.
call. Like, hey Nick, come on,
Yeah.
let's go. We got things to do.
Right.
He's super
So
cool.
tell me about him.
Oh gosh, he is the sweetest. Okay, so I've never seen. Okay, so he's on the Caucasian persuasion,
Okay.
but he's more
People.
African
Good
American than me and
people
my
are
kids
good
put
people.
together.
Yeah. No, I'm saying good people are good people. There's good people of all
Yes,
good and bad people in our groups. Okay.
he a little hood. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. As long as is he a good person?
He's
Very
great.
well,
He's got a bachelor's degree from Full
okay.
Sail, and my daughter is in Full Sail. My middle one, she's
Okay.
in Full Sail. He told her you
Right.
need to just go in there because she's been doing graphic arts forever. So
Okay.
so she went.
Right. That's
But
another talent that you can use, right? Graphic arts.
yes,
Okay,
I'll
go
be
ahead.
using that too.
I remember seeing on one show or something that I look back, you were doing the show, you said, and something happened, you said, that's my daughter. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
My lives, because my daughter was tapping into my account. I was just like, that's my daughter. But yes,
Okay, so this guy is talented. This guy's talented, right?
What happened?
This guy is very talented, right?
Oh, super talented.
Okay.
He is. I mean, the man lives in front of his computer. Like,
Okay.
I wish I was exaggerating. No, he lives in front of this
Okay.
computer. He's
Okay.
got like 3 screens in front of him at all times.
Okay.
Like,
so we talked enough about. Let's get back to you now. So tell me about the TV show. Tell me how did that come about? Your TV show.
it was interesting because like I was talking to the producer, of course.
Right.
And so he was like, okay, so are you going to get your own show? Because I had
he offered it. You didn't even offer it. He said, are you going to get your own show?
I did, because what happened.
What is it? People can see this in you. They see this. But continue the story. It's very interesting.
It's funny because right before he told me that he was going to have TV shows,
right,
I had already signed up somewhere else for my TV show, but they never sent anybody. I sent them all my money,
right,
and I didn't get anything. They didn't give me a call. They didn't talk to me. Nothing.
So I said, look, people, I want the audience to see this that I just saw. Left-handed, so I can see a lot of things. Left-handed. So she not only was she in the right place, but she actually, what can I say? You did the grind work. It wasn't, just give me something. You would actually go out there and make effort yourself. And so these are things that I hope the audience can see that brings about success. You can't just hope and wish upon a star. You have to work hard. You have to pay your dues, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Always.
Well, continue. But look, in the process of paying your dues, God said, okay, this is you grinding, but look, I'm just going to give it to you like this. With the guy offering you the show. So tell us about the show. What he said, should you do the show and tell us about the show?
Oh my goodness. Well, it's fun, like I get to talk to the entrepreneurs that I've like gotten so well, like I've known them, like know them, and I'll call them and they'll just answer. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And so they had such interesting stories, when I did get the chance to talk to them. So it was just amazing. And so I was just like, you got to be on my TV show. Now, mind you, let me tell you how fast I had to do this TV show. I had to do 17 episodes in 2.5 days.
What? How long? I mean, I'm not asking because I'm not a TV.
Well, not the
I don't understand. I don't understand the backside. Let me say, I don't understand the backside. But were they like 30-minute episodes, an hour episode? I know it may take 4 hours to do.
Initially, they were 30 minutes.
Okay.
And then it actually got bumped up to an hour. So now I have conversations about those interviews that I did do.
So
yeah.
that means the shows were good shows if you got extra 30 minutes. What were the shows about?
About
Episodes.
who, like the person that I was talking to was about their businesses,
Okay.
why they did the business,
I
what the
got another
business was.
person for you. I sent you two. I think I got another big person for you. I'll get in contact with him.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it on this. We can talk about it afterwards. But continue. Tell me. I mean, I think it'd be beneficial for you and that person, and But tell me. Okay, tell me who were some of your one or two of your interesting guests on the TV show? Who were they?
Okay. I'm not sure if you know about this. Now, being in the music industry, like, now, have you ever seen any Tyler Perry movies?
Yeah, I've seen a lot.
Okay, so one of the guys that I get the chance to talk to is Tony Grant.
Okay. Is he an actor or was he?
The actor, singer Tony Grant.
What are some of his roles? What would be some?
He was the bald-headed one that was always on Medea.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He's very
amazing.
Talented. Yeah, he's very talented.
Yeah, and I've had like a bunch of just people,
Wow.
just random people just talking about why they did what they did and just some challenges that kind of came with it. And this is why it was called Lady Myya Think, Plan, Do. It was just like, if you get to that point, why are you at that point? What can you do about it?
Right.
Thinking it over and then plan to do. So it's just like, you don't want to just start a business and not have everything that it's going to take to make you successful. And so that is the whole purpose of the TV show.
Okay. And where do you not where you broadcast, but what is your audience size with that? And I'm not a TV person, but I mean, how does that work? I mean, like you go in X amount of homes, or people turn to whatever channel. How does that work?
Well, it's on Roku and it's on Amazon Prime. So Fire.
Okay.
So yeah, if you get the app, you can definitely watch. That's not a problem.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
The OTU network is OTTU. OTT network, Over the Top Universe.
Over the Top Universe. Now, are there in the media industry, what do you see the future will be? And personally, what do you want to see? Are there new things that we're not aware about that you and around your colleagues in that area of media? I'm just starting out. Not so much, I'm more book author, but I'm just doing, I said why not do you too, but you're doing it way more on a higher levels. What do you see in the media industry that is that you want? Where's it going, and what are the new breakthroughs and things that are going to take place that you foresee, and what do you personally want to see in the industry and for yourself?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, we're learning. We're getting educated.
How about that? We're learning. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I put off computers until like 2 years ago, so I'm still learning too.
Okay.
But I will say everything is progressing so fast.
Okay.
And it's like the things that are, let's say Facebook. Okay. Facebook, how it's conjoined now with Instagram, and and there's going to be a lot of those marriages with technology. I do see that to be, because everybody wants to be on top. Everybody wants to be Facebook at this point, or YouTube. But that's fine, because if anything, that's going to help the people that are doing everything individually. When you have to go to this site and put this up there and do that. And when you can kind of do that blanket, it's beautiful. That's less work that we have to do. So like with the technology and everything, I think it's just trying to get better. But I do believe that there are going to be some more platforms that,
Mm.
like I'm trying to integrate TikTok for
Okay.
whatever reason. I have
Okay.
no idea. I have
Right.
fun with my husband normally. We just
Right.
play pranks on each other, not nothing like
Okay.
too crazy.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but he hates the way I talk. So so
Okay.
he'll just say stuff. He'll be like, that
Right.
is not how you say it. And I'm like, that's how I say it. But
Yeah.
I tried to do a just talk with me and my husband because everybody loves that. They're saying like how crazy we are. But
Okay.
I definitely want to get back into the music industry. I used to
Okay.
write songs and
Okay. Songwriters. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Who-
So
and what capacity do you want to write for different major label artists? What are for yourself? You can also collaborate with producers with what you're doing and create, have a demo singer or yourself sing and put that music in TV and film. What are the different areas you want to I guess capitalize on your songwriting talent?
I love being in studios. Like I've always
Okay.
loved that. I didn't
Okay.
care for the hours too much because I had young kids at the time.
Right.
But
Right. Right.
other than that, I loved every minute of it. I loved the creativity. I loved the freedom
Right.
to actually express yourself, especially when
Right.
you're going through stuff. Don't you feel like you're that much more just creative because you're like,
Right.
I'm really going through something, I'm feeling all these emotions, I really don't know how to
Right.
deal with them. And so
Right.
writing that down, you're
Right.
not the only one, we're all human. So
Right.
I
Right.
want to do that.
That is great.
It doesn't really matter what genre though. Like I'm down with whatever genre.
Right.
Like I'm not particular.
Mhm.
um or anything like that. Heck, if you want me to do heavy metal, I can do that too. Whatever. Like
Right. Right. They
just
have
want
to.
me.
They got to say something, right? Yeah. Yeah.
They stay saying something, and it's always usually that thought that's in the back of your mind you really don't want to say. Like
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
really listen to it, you like, I thought
Yeah.
that, but I didn't want to say nothing.
Right. Right. Now with these different shows, how are you back to that? How are you? How do you get? And this is interest, of course, to me. As I mean, I guess other people too that are in it. How do you go about, getting your guests?
Oh gosh, I harass people. I'm like, all
Okay.
right, so you're going
Okay.
to be on this show, and so
Okay.
it's going to be okay.
Okay. Do you find people on LinkedIn,
Everywhere.
Facebook, everywhere?
Everywhere.
Okay.
Anytime I can get a chance and an opportunity to talk to someone, it might be their birthday, and I'll say happy birthday. They say thank you, and I said, oh, so what do you do?
Yeah.
And then we have a whole conversation back and forth. So now you kind of know that person, and you want that person to get to know you. Well,
Right.
did you check me out? Because you know how sometimes you see right under the name, you see what they do. you
Right.
know
Right. Right.
and so, like, give me more in depth. What's that? I'm the one, I like to vet my people.
Right. Right.
And but it's way more fun when I don't do it. When I don't do
Okay.
it, I mean, the stories that come up make me blush. Like, oh my goodness, I don't. Okay.
I didn't expect this. I didn't expect this. So are you also a YouTuber?
Yeah, I put everything on YouTube
Okay,
as
so
well.
maybe this may be could be a title or something. Let me ask you these two questions. Even these could be a title. What would you say to people that are interested? How would you go about it? How do you become a YouTuber? Just for the general
Oh
public.
man, I'm still
Yeah,
trying to figure that one out myself.
experienced person as you do various things. I'm sure they would be interested to know, how does one become a YouTuber?
Right. It's interesting because I mean everybody has their like a difference, it's just like
Right.
depending on how you're going on there, what you're going on there to do,
Hmm.
that's going to be big.
Okay.
Everybody goes, well, just do a how to, a how
Right.
to, a how to, a how to. But at the same time, everybody's doing how to,
Right.
so you're
Right.
like, okay, how do I set myself different from
Right.
everyone else? So, I
Right.
mean, it takes a lot more research to
Okay.
do. to figure out what's your niche and what's going to make you happy so that you
Right.
can continue.
Right.
Because it's a lot of hard work.
Right.
I did find that Fiverr helped.
Okay.
I didn't care for it
Right.
a little bit. Like
Right.
in my heart, I'm like, that's not what I saw, but okay. I can
Right. So back to the question: how would one become a YouTuber? Just, I
Right.
mean, just a short, or just
Sign
something
up for your
for the
channel.
public. Huh?
Sign up for your channel. Make sure
Okay.
you're doing all the right things. Look it up. Like if you
Okay.
look it up on YouTube, and it'll tell you exactly what to do to sign up as a YouTuber, because most people
Yeah.
just make their normal thing, and they're putting a whole lot of videos up there, but it's not a channel to be an influencer. So you want
Okay.
to definitely make it
Mhm.
accessible to an influencer status. So that way it accounts for what you need to be a paid influencer. So yes.
Okay. And now let's go here. How would one become a TV personality?
Oh my gosh, you just got to be wild, y'all. You just gotta
Okay, I'm
gotta
sure they
talk
wanna
to
know. Tell us.
everybody. You just gotta, because it's just like you do want to ask questions. You want to always
Right.
ask questions, because if you don't ask questions, you won't get nothing done. And
Okay.
so people go, oh, well, I'm so scared. I don't really know if I should ask. Well, if you're scared, you don't really want it.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you were a kid coming out of college or high school or whatever, and they think that they have talent or whatever the case may be,
Right.
what do they need to do to become a TV personality?
It's just hard work. It really is. It's a lot of networking though. You
You need
have
to
to.
meet. You
If
need
you
to
don't
meet
do
people.
that, there's no real reason,
You have
for
to
you
meet.
to do
You
it.
have to meet
Because
the
if you
right
don't know how
people.
to talk to people, how are you going to talk to people on TV?
So you have to meet the right people. Go and research, meet the right people, and hopefully something can happen. Is it like that? Okay.
Yes, definitely.
And you would say that same thing, how to become a radio personality, that would be the same?
Oh gosh, you can go anywhere to become a radio personality. You really can, because there's a lot of people that now have internet radio.
Okay.
And everybody's looking for looking for the talent. They're looking
Right.
for a host. So
Right.
I mean, that's a lot easier to get
Okay.
a hold of than anything, really.
Okay. And then
Just check them out.
there you go. And between your various shows, how do you, let's say radio, just not okay. How do you go about marketing that show in terms our shows? You maybe have two shows now on radio, our podcast. How do you go about marketing and getting it out to the public?
Well, right
Just
now
curious.
I am in a lot of groups
Okay.
that have a lot of different shows. So it's
Okay.
just like you kind of get the gist of them.
Okay.
They know people,
Right.
know people, and people know people. So it's just
Okay.
like you have a lot more followings when you have people that's of the same cloth,
Okay.
So
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
that's always interesting.
That's interesting. So outside of the songwriting, the personality, are you a very good singer? What are some other do you paint?
I can sing. I can't paint. I can't paint though.
You can't paint. Are there other talents? Are you a good actress?
I like to think so.
Have you ever,
your family tell you off and
Yeah.
then make you feel some type of way. Yeah.
like Tyler Perry? Have you been in any of your plays?
I tried to. I did put in for an application to do so.
Okay.
But I have yet, to hear anything back. And I'm pretty sure I need to keep doing it, like maybe every other month or something like that.
No, but I mean, like when you write your own plays or movies, would you get in the movie yourself? In a
Heck
role?
yes. Okay, so Regina King
Okay.
is my chick. I love that woman.
So that's another
influencer.
influencer.
She's everything.
Okay.
She's everything. Like I
Okay.
would love to be an influencer, but she's everything. If she says anything and she's doing it.
Right. No, but I'm saying that's another person in the art that influences you.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I love her so much. Like everything she's doing right now, she's producing, and it's just like the stuff that she's producing.
Right.
It's like, this is Brenda from 227. You just thinking about those things. And like I followed, and I just kept following when she was in Boondocks, when she was doing
Right.
all these other things, just like,
Right.
wow, like she's so like versatile, and I just
Yes.
love that. So yeah, I want to be her.
Okay,
Definitely.
great, great. And so tell me, before you interview, what is your process? I mean, like do you I don't know, maybe people have rituals that they do. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna eat before I go on the show. I'm gonna walk around the set. What do you do to prepare for a show?
Oh man.
Anything that you do that's kind of that's interesting to the public.
I try to drink as much as possible just to keep hydrated, because I will
Okay.
talk myself to almost like dryness.
Okay.
But at the same time, I really try to surround myself with positive people,
Okay.
because that's like so huge. I mean, that's the biggest thing you could ever do, is to
Right.
always surround yourself with positive people.
Right.
The thing I like to try to do some stretches and stuff like that, especially if I'm going to be sitting for a while. I used to
Right.
just sit for hours and just do show after show after show after show.
Right.
And so now it's just more so like I have to prepare for that. I need to make
Okay.
sure I'm hydrated, or I have some water nearby, or,
Hmm.
grab a salad or something, and just try to, make sure that like I'm not passing out somewhere. But other than that,
Absolutely.
like I just love what I do. I love people,
Right.
and I love talking, and I love giving information, and I love just giving people options. And when you can get options, there's so many things that you can do with those options. You can either merge them together, take them apart, make them better. Whatever you do, you're going
Right.
to do something great. So that's what you want to do. Just have the option.
Definitely. Let me go here because I think this is good for, in particular, Black men and Black women, and just
Yes.
men overall, and women. How are you able? Because a lot of people, they'll just get a career,
Mhm.
particularly women or men, and they forget about also getting married, trying to get married, meeting that person. So how were you, and you're very fortunate, how were you able to, you know, pursue your career options and ability and opportunities, and at the same time, you know, meet someone to marry and have a family, and were able to do both simultaneously? What would you tell young ladies and young men? What did I guess stay away from just being one-sided, just going out and dating, not getting your career together, or getting your career together. Oh, 10 years from now, I'll meet Mr. Right or Mrs. Right. What would you say?
You know what? I will say this, because there was a whole lot of trial and error on that, a
Okay.
whole lot of it. I was married, I'm on my third marriage,
Wow. Wow.
my first one didn't see me for me at all. They just saw the fact that, oh, that I got a young wife.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Second one, he went a little cray cray, and
Okay.
we had to leave him where he was.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but this one saw who I was, saw the potential
Okay.
in me while I was doing what I was doing. And this is what I tell so many people. I'm like, look,
Yeah.
what you really want to do that.
Right.
They will follow. They will
Okay.
follow. Because
Okay.
I was working as an assistant manager at an auto repair shop, and my husband
Okay.
walked in. I was
Okay.
taking care of business regardless of what, because I had to make sure the girls were good and I was good.
Right.
And so he came and he was just like, let me show you how you're supposed to be treated.
Wow. Wow.
If
So
you are doing what you're doing, they will make sure
right.
to make their presence known so that they can take care of you and support you.
Okay. And I guess, you know, I'm gonna go to the red pill and all, but we won't get into that. But let's just say that, what will you tell ladies in terms of, you know, let me say to men, I guess you can see in that situation, don't be over alpha man and have respect for the ladies. I'll say that from that side. And what would you say to ladies? What do if they have a list of 200 things? What advice did you give them? Because I'm sure they're interested. A career woman, how was she able to have it all? What advice did you give to young ladies, especially black women? There are a lot of black women that are not married.
Yes.
So what are the secrets to getting a husband?
I will say this.
We might have to do another show on that, but go ahead.
That's fine. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's like, as long as you know who you are,
okay,
and make sure that you are not changing yourself for that person, not unless you just being extra.
Right.
You know how you being extra because somebody hurt you, and now you're out to get, you know, the next person. If you just allowed yourself to really be open to the possibility and not be surly or you know, just having malice in your heart, it's gonna come. It's gonna come to you because the universe is gonna be like, okay, now she's a magnet. Now he's a magnet. They are magnets now because now they're ready to love, and the right one is gonna come.
Well, I gotta ask you this: what's the word? What are the essentials in terms of what that you had to have in terms of a man? Like if he didn't, the deal breakers. What were the deal breakers?
Deal breaker. Oh God, deal breaker. It was funny because all my deal breakers was my husband initially, and but when you gotta want to have somebody that's going to be with you for you and with you for your relationship, because if they see that there's something that's going to hurt or jeopardize your relationship, they're going to change it, and it's going to work. And it's like, okay, you know what? This is going to jeopardize our relationship. Maybe I shouldn't do this, because he was a smoker at one point.
Okay.
I was just like, I don't know if I want to kiss you all the time, you know?
Right.
But it took him to get comfortable with not smoking.
Okay.
In order for that to work out for us to be good, you know?
Okay.
So there was a whole lot of different, we had to grow together. You
had
to
grow
know
together.
that you're going to grow together. If you don't know, then you don't really want a long relationship. You don't want any longevity. So then why are you doing that? But to have the tools is within yourself. It's what you want your tools to be. Do you as an African American woman, Black woman, do you have to compromise, or do you get everything that you want? That's funny, because at first I did. At first, when my first two husbands, I had to always compromise. Always.
Okay.
But then when you find the right person, it's like everything aligns properly. And then it's just like, okay, you feel this way. Okay, I feel this way. All right. So do we see the middle ground here? It's not really compromise. It's more so like, what's going to definitely make it work to whereas we're not so far off of the platforms that we have.
That everybody is winning.
Right. What I can deal with and what
Okay. I think that's important. We have to do another down the road. We have to do another show, because that's going to be that. And I think I would recommend that you do a show as well, talking to young ladies about marriage. You know, that could be an interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have any new projects that's in store for the public?
Oh, new projects. Not yet. I'm working on it. I'm just trying to get over this last one.
Or do you have new projects that you're thinking about? It may not.
Oh yeah.
You said, well, it's not set in stone, but that possibly you may want to bring to the public.
Definitely. I want to start to really get and hone into the musicians, because that's like one of my
Okay,
first loves too. I want to
okay,
definitely
okay.
see and talk and have those experiences with them. And so
Right.
I love that. Like I can't wait till that happens. I know you and we had
Yeah.
talked like, hey, this could
Yeah.
go down. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's a talent? I mean, do you feel like there's a responsibility as a media personality and influencer in terms of inspiring people to be who they to go to the next level, to be the best they can? Do you feel like there's
Always.
a responsibility, or do you feel like, no, I do what I want to do in terms
No.
of a media personality, and that's not a big deal?
Like the funniest thing about that, because I,
Mhm.
I always want to help. Like I'm
Right,
such
right,
a helper, and I'll help till I have nothing left. I really
right,
am. I'm
right,
always been like that. And I
right,
can't help myself, nor would I want to.
right.
So it's just like I want to help everybody. I want people to believe in themselves. Like
Okay,
if you believe in yourself, you know how far you could actually and
okay.
don't listen to those naysayers, because some naysayers are just trying to keep you where they're comfortable, not your comfortability. So yes.
That's a good question. Okay, I mean that's a good. Now, so how, yeah, how did you deal with people not, because you're very positive and you're just a go-getter and things of that nature. It looked like you probably, to me, it seems like somebody said something that went through one ear out the other ear. How do you deal with naysayers and
I
people that
don't
are
even
critical?
listen to them. Like I
Okay,
don't even allow them to talk to me for very long. Cause like I'm
okay,
like, oh, okay, well, you know what? I got something to do.
okay,
Because I
okay,
don't want to talk to you because you're trying to take my energy that I can give to someone that needs it.
okay. That makes sense.
Yes.
And
We
and
ain't got
what
time for them other people.
you got time for those people. What what has, being this media person, has it been fulfilling?
Yes. Yes.
Talk on
The,
that. Talk, because you can talk it. Let's hear
oh
it.
yes. I'll talk.
Okay.
Trust me. Like the experiences that people go through and the things that they were able to go through and get through.
Right.
You talking about strength.
Okay.
You're talking about determination. You're talking about drive. You're talking about passion.
Right.
That stuff fuels everyone. You know.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I like to do that. I love to talk to people. I love when people have a story and tell me all about it. And like, you know what, I was here, or I was homeless, or I had this
Right.
situation going, but I persevered. I
Yeah.
got through that, and here I am.
Yeah. Is
Um,
that therapy to you?
Good.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
do you see? I'll just ask a few more questions. I don't want to take up too much of your time. You're a very interesting, exciting person. Um, do you plan to write any more plays and movies?
I will when I
Mhm.
get some time. I guess I am kind of overdue for like a vacation.
Right, 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 right,
So yeah, once I could get a couple of things kind of, done
right.
and out of the way and probably on autopilot at some point, then I'll definitely be able to do something like that. So yes, I'm
Definitely. And what
excited.
is, as a role model, what advice would you give? I actually have a cousin, second cousin, that kind of sees me as an uncle, that type of vibe, that wants to deal with film, that's going to Howard. What would you say to someone like that wants to get in the arts? I think I may have a, a actual nephew that mentioned that he may, but he's like 12th grade. What would you say to young people about being in the arts? What
The
advice would you
arts
give
is
them?
the arts is interesting because
Right,
depending on what part of the arts you're trying to be in, like now,
right.
is he trying to do music or
Well, I think the one is trying to do film. I think the other one, just talking in seventh grade. But the one is, I guess, the film industry somewhat. I don't know exactly what. He just told me the film. We hadn't really had a long dialogue.
No, I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
What I can say is this.
Yeah.
If you're he can find someone that is in his community
Okay.
that has, that resume on
Right.
what it is that they want, and
Okay.
just shadow them.
Right.
Most times they allow that.
Right.
They're like, hey, this is my community.
Right.
I'm helping somebody in my community out, especially
Right.
for the Black people.
Right.
So yes, there's so many people that's out there that's doing the same thing.
Right.
And they're
Right.
like, okay, why, make your own road when you can jump on the road that's already been paved.
Okay. Okay.
So yes, that's important. That really is. It like even with me, it's so funny because I'm like, I don't even know of anybody that else is doing everything I'm doing.
Yeah, you're doing it. You are definitely, and I wasn't aware. I just knew of a few things, but it definitely is great. You're definitely on your way to be, icon. What are the three main things from the entertainment standpoint that you want to carve out? I mean, I know there's probably about 10 things going on, but what are the top three things that you want to carve out in the next year to 5 years, or let's say the next year, or the next 2 years?
I think for the most part, I would love to kind of like really get to the point where I can have, a few more shows
Okay.
and different things like that, just kind of going on and kind of simultaneous, or, I would like to do a couple of just audio, anything, audio,
Okay.
just everything, because like you can really get to a very comfortable space,
Right.
and just talk,
Right.
and just not really having a whole agenda or anything
Right.
like that, because I do that so often.
Right.
I
Yeah.
do that so often, but I'm like, you
Right.
know what, if only I feel like this can really go out and people can really share it, because they may hear it, but at the same time sharing it to somebody else that they may be going through and just not sure, and
Right.
so I can have, just a little tidbit, something that came to mind, just the thought of the day or what have you. And I try to keep it as, as positive as possible. Like a lot of my taglines are, are you being positive today? Because like
Right.
positivity does just fuel you for a lot of different things. So, that's definitely one of those things that I want to always keep and do.
Yeah.
As long as I'm being creative, I'm
Right.
good.
Yeah. I'll just ask a few more questions. I know that
No, yes, go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
here. I'm good.
So how has the experience? I mean, this is interesting for a creative person, and you're my first person outside of a book authors. What has the experience of COVID been for you personally and for your family?
Um, Actually, it's been really good for me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's been
Please
really good for me
elaborate.
because I
Do
had
tell. Do
access.
tell.
There was
Yeah.
so much access at that point.
Right. Right.
Everybody was home.
Right.
Things were happening. People were able to hear what I had to say and different things
Right.
like that. So it definitely was one of those things that's just like, oh wow, this is a blessing.
Would you consider this a transformative moment for the whole world?
You know what? I do, because
Okay.
this was the point of reset. If
Okay.
you are
Right.
if you were paying attention,
Right.
or because you weren't paying attention,
Right.
you had to do some type of reset, because like the noise got too loud,
Okay.
things got too busy. God
Yes.
was trying to talk to you and you didn't
Right.
want to listen,
Right.
So he
Right.
had to put the brakes on it. It's
Okay.
just like,
Okay.
all right, well, I had to allow this to happen because they're not listening.
Right. Right.
Y'all running into churches and the devil running out. Like, no,
Oh, okay.
like, let's not do that.
Yeah, let's definitely not do that one. Yeah.
Like, how you worse than what you when you first got there? Like, no, let's not do that. So
No.
it's just, yeah, we're not really taking care of ourselves properly either.
Right.
So it kind of forced a lot of people to kind of like, okay, you know what? That did hurt. I just
Right.
didn't pay it any attention. So now
Right.
you're aware. You know,
Right.
at least you're aware. So it's like, yeah, that and the kids, just really getting to know your kids again and
Right.
knowing and appreciate, and teachers, Lord
Right.
knows,
Right.
you know dang well you didn't want to see your kids for those 8 to 10 hours. You was like,
Right.
why? Look at this kid.
Yeah.
And now you had to actually reset your kids.
Right. Right.
So yeah, it was something that needed to be done, because a lot of people just let their kids be unruly.
Right.
And then the teachers are trying to teach them, but they can't even be taught because they're unruly.
That's true.
So like,
That's true.
you now you're telling yourself, you telling on yourself, because
Right.
you mad and you talking about something. I need a rose. Tell your kid to go knock it off and do what he gotta do.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Oh my gosh, I love it though. Yes, it was a really, really good reset for a lot of people. A lot of people, some people at the very end of this right now
Right.
is maybe not taking it so well.
Right.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like, all right, well, you can act the fool if you want to, but you're gonna end up in jail acting up like this. Like,
Right.
do you
Right.
really want that? You think the pandemic was bad? Go to jail. Oh, yeah.
Did anybody in your family did they get COVID?
My son-in-law got it. He had got it.
Right.
And so yeah, that was like the only thing. My stepdad passed away last year.
Okay.
But
Was it from COVID?
no.
Okay.
He was old and
Okay.
stubborn and didn't
Right.
want to turn the dang fan on and
Right.
die. And I'm like,
Right.
all right.
I had a distant cousin that was 74 that passed away. And this is interesting because I tell people about, if anything like that happens again, wear your mask. My mother, I just turned 52, June 21st, and my mother Wednesday will be 78. Now, what happened? We were in Edmonton, Georgia, and he actually had COVID at the time, but because my mother had her mask on, she actually touched his back.
Uh-oh.
And the mask saved her life.
Ooh.
Because he died, and his lady friend died as well. But if she didn't have her mask, I think, she would have passed as well. So I would tell people to definitely, let's kind of see what's going on, but still be safe, cautious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But on the positive side, like you said, it definitely was a reset.
Yeah.
It kind of knocked you initially got upset, but because it knocked some plans down, but actually better plans were able to be made.
Exactly.
Definitely.
And so now, if you notice, a lot more people have businesses.
That's right.
So I knew that was going to happen as soon as the president entered the White House, and the old president. When he entered the White House, I was just like, okay, so he's going to force us all to get our own businesses at this point. And that's what I thought. That's what came to my mind, and I said it out loud, and I was just like, oh.
What made you say that? What made you say that? What made you come to that conclusion?
Because him being a businessman.
Okay. Right.
He looks at it as a business. So he looked at this whole thing as a business. He didn't look at it as I need to take care of the people. People need to take care of themselves. And that was his philosophy.
Okay.
And so it was just like, oh, well, the fact that you were able to get money or spoon fed everything that you had, but you don't feel sorry for people that weren't able to.
Wow.
So, yeah, I was just like, oh, we're going to all get businesses now.
Let me just ask you this, like I said, get to a few more questions. Let me ask you, do you intend as a writer, and of course this show started initially just as a writer but I expanded into people of the arts. Do you intend anytime in the future possibly to write a book? And before you answer that question, let me just throw this in, that there's a Jewish proverb that I heard, that I've heard out there, that every person should write a book, plant a tree, and have a son. And I'm gonna say I'll add my part, or have a daughter. So with your ability to write and your creativity, do you think that you may possibly write a book one day?
The reason why I'm laughing is because my siblings had decided, this was about 2 years ago, that they wanted me, they all voted that I should be writing the book. And I'm like, why? And so they said, because we need the kids to know what's really going down. And I said, but I don't think the kids is ready for this. Okay, so the book is supposed to be about my father.
Okay.
And so my dad is a special person.
Right.
Because, okay, like I said, he was jack of all trades, master of absolutely none. And so his life was very interesting.
Okay.
Because he had 2 wives, and he decided to up and leave to get him another one. And so it was just like one of those things like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, if I did the book, I would have to call it the land, the blood land.
Okay.
Because, all right, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna leave it at this, right?
Okay.
I said he has land in Delaware.
Okay.
So we call it bloodland for one reason, but there's another reason, I believe.
Okay.
Just by the things that he does.
Okay.
That there's bodies on that land. Right.
Okay.
And so
let's be careful now. You're on camera, so be careful.
I know. He know. Because I was just like, I gotta wait till you die so I can write this book.
Okay, so let's be careful with that. But okay, so possibly a book about him. And what's going to happen? I'm going to tell you. Once you write the first book, you're going to get the writing bug, you're going to write another one. So what would be the second book?
Oh, the second book will probably have to be like about me being a very difficult parent.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of things that like women don't do. And it's common sense. And it's just like, why? I don't understand. And I mean, I had all girls. And it's just like, maybe growing up and maybe like being older. They didn't talk to their kids. You didn't have a conversation. You didn't even, the kids know nothing going out in the world. And then you got mad with them when they made all the wrong decisions. Like, hello.
I think that's
a conversation.
I think that's a great book. And I'm going to have to say, I'm going to tell you that I think of interest, I definitely would get it, is a book telling people how to balance their career and finding a mate. This is a huge problem. By the way, I kind of watched Kevin Samuels. He just hit last night 1 million subscribers. So there is something in the water in the United States, that's the Black community and the larger community of people becoming professionals and not getting married. And you have found the way to do it. I think people would be very much interested in a book that would tell them how to balance the ups and downs. What are the essentials in terms of the deal, the deal breakers or whatever. Just, I think you have a perspective that a lot of people are saying things but they're not married. If you're not, they don't have the receipts.
Right.
And I think that you would from a lady's perspective, you would do a tremendous, you know, richness, tremendously have a huge impact to really to help our community and the larger community find that balance and be successful in both arenas.
Yes. Well, I guess in my mind,
Right,
in
right,
my mind, I thought people were looking at Will and Jada,
right,
Beyonce and Jay-Z,
right,
and everything. And
right,
I'm like, well, everybody usually wants to be,
right,
successful in that way because they
right,
have a lot of money and they have a
right,
lot of pull.
right,
And so I didn't really think too much of it,
right.
because even when my husband and we have conversations,
Hmm.
oh my goodness, the stuff we talk about is just
Yeah.
very interesting. We
Okay.
did try to start something called Just Talk with me and my husband, and
Right.
oh my God, we act
Right.
like 3-year-olds. Like, it's
Okay.
horrible.
Okay. I'm definitely going to recommend, because I'm a book author, so I'm
Yes,
so biased. I'm
I
so
think so.
biased. And
Yeah.
so I definitely going to urge you to write some of those books, and it'll be here for eternity.
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna do it. I'll be like, okay, we can't
And
put
here's
this
a
thing out
crazy
here.
saying, because I'm a little off a little bit. It's another thing you can put on your tombstone, book author. I'm a little off, so I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
That.
So I'm definitely gonna urge you to write at least 1 or 2 or 3 of those, or how many as you want to. I think you're very talented, very intellectual, and I think you have so much to give in that arena as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Definitely. I'm just grateful for this opportunity, really, because I'm like,
I'm
I
the one
love
that's
talking.
grateful. My audience, you guys have better be grateful. You better be grateful. I don't want to hear it.
Yes, you got to stay grateful. Stay grateful. It comes quicker if you stay grateful. Just be grateful.
Yeah.
They're like, be grateful. Yeah, you remember that song?
Yeah, you can sing. You demonstrated that. So I guess we'll stop here. We definitely will. Another interview will ensue somewhere, somehow. But we'll stop here. I know that you're very busy. So where can people find you in terms of and when we come off? Maybe I usually put the videos out on Wednesday. So you can, before that time, you can email me over whatever links you want. And
hey, you go to Lady Myya, most of those links are up there. LadyMyya.com.
Okay.
That's
okay.
MYYA, you guys.
Right. Okay. So what should they be on the lookout for? Well, I mean, you'll give us the links, and then they can find you. And if somebody wants to contact you, maybe an interesting guest or somebody that happened to be watching the show here, how would they reach out to you if to see if you're interested in interviewing them?
Yeah, no, certainly. Anytime you just go to Lady Myya, or you can just go to Facebook, or
right.
I don't do Instagram too often.
Okay.
I know I should, but
right.
but I'm so busy sometimes, and I just don't get a chance to like grab to my phone because my phone just won't stop ringing. Like, yeah, y'all heard that earlier. So I definitely, you can go to my email address is admin, ADMIN @ladymyya.com.
Okay.
So yeah, you can always reach out to me. I have all the links on ladymyya.com.
Okay.
So I mean, whatever y'all want to do and how y'all want to do it, just let me know. I love to have conversations. I love to talk, pick your brain, figure out what you want to do.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I guess we could talk for hours, but we have to let you go. I mean, you have a busy schedule. You are a career woman and a family as well, and we really appreciate your time. We really appreciate you. You have shed light on so many areas that I think my audience and different people that will get a chance to watch the video will learn and be educated and also inspired and motivated. So we really thank you for this interview. Look forward to in the future another interview, and we really appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, you guys. Hopefully, y'all can just come and always watch him because he's such an awesome individual. Rick is the ball.
And watch her programs, all of her programs, especially young ladies, and learn and see how it's done. Okay, and maybe you can aspire to be like her. And we look for her to do extremely huge and iconic things. We know that she's on the rise, and we've been lucky to catch her at this moment as it takes off. Yeah. So thank you again, and we're going to end the show now. And thank you everybody for watching. Subscribe, like, and share. Thank you again.